We're having all sorts of fun this morning. By the way, we are live at Sweet Pea Nursery right here in downtown Vacaville. Why don't you all join me? We've got another hour left of live broadcasting, and we are at the Sweet Pea Nursery at 891 Alamo Drive in Vacaville. So come on down. We have Dr. Earth. We're talking about Dr. Earth, and we're talking about his gardening guide, and it's a free one. Well, tell me all about the good things that are in this thing, Dr. Earth.
You know, Bob, I've spent 17 years compiling the data to write the magazine. As I said, there's not one single advertisement in the magazine whatsoever. It's really just to promote the organic lifestyle. It teaches gardeners how to be successful in the garden, how to control insects naturally, how to grow, maintain their lawns naturally, how to grow organic roses, vegetables, fruit trees, global concerns, how to grow your own homegrown medicine. It's basically a free magazine. I'll make it available to every one of your listeners. All they have to do is log on to drearth.com, scroll halfway down the page. It says free magazine. They just click on that, fill out the field, and we'll mail it to them. No questions asked. Absolutely, we'll pay for the shipping, we'll pay for the magazine, we'll pay for everything. I want to educate everybody on the organic lifestyle. And this is the best tool. This is the best way I know how to go about doing that.
Great. There was a phone number they could dial in too, isn't there?
They can call us direct. Area code 707-448-4676. And if they don't get a hold of us today, there's a lot of people that call in. You can call anytime throughout the week and just tell us they heard the offer on the Bob Tanem Show. And we'll honor that. They can email us and just call us, and we'll make sure we get them a free magazine. I want every one of your listeners to have access to this promotion.
You have 450 copies?
I've got about 450,000 copies. I do.
All right. We've got a call here from Rita. So let's go to Rita from Oakland. Hi.
Yes, good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
I have a question. I've been noticing this last week that something is digging up little patches in my lawn at night. Is there anything I can do, or are there raccoons?
Yeah, there are a couple of things it could be. Is it ripped up kind of digging, or is it nice and neat and a little tiny, look like a funnel?
No, it's not nice and neat. It's ripped.
Ripped. That would be raccoons.
Okay, I thought maybe.
Yeah, what you can do, there's a couple of things you can do. One is to just had a blank thing in my mind. Whatever happened. Put ammonia in a pie plate with a sponge, and that will repel them.
Oh.
That's one way to get them out of the garden. My favorite one, usually when raccoons have a bad experience in a location, what they do is to never come back to that location. Two, they don't have salivary glands, so whatever they eat, they have to have water with it.
Okay.
And if they don't, it stays there in their tongue for a while. Now, here's the recipe. Okay?
Yeah.
You get a bunch of Captain Crunch cereal.
Okay.
Peanut butter.
Okay.
Marshmallows.
Little ones or?
Yeah, little or big, doesn't matter.
Oh.
Mix that all up, okay?
Okay.
In a pie plate. And then top it off with hot Thai pepper, one of the hottest kind of thing you can get.
And is that a powder or what?
Actually, it comes in a liquid.
Hot Thai pepper liquid, okay.
And just set it out there. And they're going to have a bad experience because they have to eat it. They will eat it.
They will eat it even if it doesn't smell hot pepper?
Nope. They don't bother with that. They don't have...
oh, they don't smell it.
They don't smell very well either. So you put it out there, and they're going to have, let's say, not a very nice experience. They will not come back. They will not come back to that location.
I shouldn't have water in my bird bath?
No, empty the bird bath overnight, yeah.
Guys, I noticed some nail parts floating around in my bird bath lately.
That's one of the raccoons are probably doing it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I shouldn't have water for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it too late to plant sugar peas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would prefer to wait till September and then plant them.
Oh, okay. Well, then I still hope this year.
All righty.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Rita, for that call. In case you're wondering, we are at a remote in downtown Vacaville, and one of the things that the address is 891 Alamo Drive in Vacaville, and you can dial, you can go to online, www.sweetpeas, P-E-A-S-N-S-Y, Sweet Peas Nursery, and that is at 891 Alamo Drive in Vacaville. I'm here, Dr. Shammas is here, Patricia Williams, the owner, is here, and actually I understand her father's here. So that's even. Let's get to Richard. Richard, where are you? Live body right here in downtown Vacaville. Come on, Richard. You have to talk over there. We direct there we go. Hey, welcome. Talk into the mic.
Okay. Well, I have an orange tree, and listening to your show, I found out I wasn't watering enough. The leaves are turning yellow. The flowers are falling off. So now I'm watering it. Started getting some fruit, got to be maybe a quarter of an inch, and then they all fell off.
That's not an uncommon thing when you start to feed right after you have ignored it for quite some time. Some of that fruit will stay. Not all of it, but some of it will. And one of the things, when you have a fruit drop, it's a good sign in that the bees have been out pollinating. So you're going to get about maybe 10% of the ones of the fruit, but it will stay on, and I think you'll be fine.
Okay.
All right? Just keep doing what you're doing.
So how do I tell if I'm watering it too much or not enough?
How old's the tree?
3-4 years old in a pot.
It's in a pot.
Yeah.
Twice a week, you got it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In a pot that dries out fast in the ground. In the ground, probably after 3 or 4 years, I would say maybe water once a week, if that. So
Okay.
I think you're fine. In a pot.
Thank you.
Okay, got it. All right. Hey, thanks for the call. We've got Rita from Los Gatos. Hi.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for taking my call. I fertilized with roses with blood meal yesterday, and I want to know how often I should do that during the year and what part of the year.
One of the problems with blood meal is that it only has nitrogen in it, basically.
Oh.
And too much nitrogen is going to discourage or weaken the growth of the rose so that your blossoms may droop.
Mm-hmm.
I would get a standard. One of my favorite fertilizers anywhere is Dr. Earth's Rose Food.
Just the rose food, not worry about the other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, and as far as keeping the deer away, you think deer scram is...
Deer scram's the best product on the market.
Someone told me that after a while that deer get wise to it, and you have to switch. Is that correct?
No.
No? Okay. Thanks very much.
No, it's worked for me for years on at my New Beginnings garden, and we have 5 or 6 come rushing through that whole area daily.
Okay.
So I think you're fine.
And it'll keep rabbits away too.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Bob. Bye bye.
All right. Hey, thanks for that call. Let's go to. I can't hardly read this thing. Jim in Palo Alto. Jim.
Hey, good morning, Bob. How are you?
Hi. Pretty good.
I got 2 quick questions here. A jacaranda tree, do they have to be fed? This one, ours this year, has very little purple blossoms on it.
How old is it?
It's probably about 20 years old.
I don't think it really requires feed. I just came from Southern California, and I know none of those trees get any food, so I think you're fine. But you might just in the fall give it a tree fertilizer like with Dr. Earth.
Okay, very good.
And I think that, we forget about these trees, but we just came from Santa Barbara, and my gosh, they're all in full bloom. They're beautiful. And I know that these public trees never get fed.
Yeah, I'm just curious. This is just very thin this year.
Yeah, well, maybe it is telling you something, okay?
Okay, and when do I harvest my onions? My onions are up, sitting on top now, and they're big, they're beautiful onions. But I don't know what, I picked some, but they seem to become soft.
Oh, well, stop watering.
Stop watering?
And let them dry out. And when the tops start to collapse, that's the time you start harvesting.
Oh, okay, very good. That'll help me, because my wife has been wondering, when do we pick them? But anyway, okay, and as far as tomatoes go, I've had tomatoes for the last week, picking them.
Well, Oh, complaints. Always. Okay. All right.
I appreciate your show, Bob. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate my listeners. You take care. This is Bob Tanem in the Garden on Hot Talk 560. We're going to take a little break right now, and we're going to advertise and pay for the program. Here we are, Bob Tanem in the Garden, Hot Talk 560, and it's KSFO.
Beans and cornbread.
Hey, welcome back to Hot Talk 560 KSFO. Bob Tanem, and sitting here right beside me, and we are at Sweet Pea Nursery in Vacaville, and we are at 891 Alamo Drive in Vacaville, and we're having a grand old time this morning. We've got just about one each of everything that concerns the garden. And we also have the Chief Executive Officer. A lot of people don't even know what CEO means anymore. Bill Jamison. Welcome, Bill.
Thanks for having me here, Bob. I really appreciate being here this morning.
And Dr. Earth's going to have a couple of questions for you.
All right. First of all, I'd like to say that Bill Jamison is the ex-CFO for Monrovia, as you know, very well.
I know Monrovia.
He's got quite the history, and now he's the CEO of Masters. And basically, we're partners, Dr. Earth and Masters, we're partners, and we support all the independent nurseries. And Bill basically runs a giant cooperative, and very high quality, service oriented. Patricia Williams, Sweet Peas Nurseries, one of the members of the cooperative. And Bill, maybe you can just tell us a little bit about it. I mean, what's the benefit of just your regular gardener going to a Master Nursery Garden Center? What's the real value in that?
Well, Milo, I'll explain to you what you already know, being such a great partner to our cooperative. We are an organization comprised of about 780 garden centers across the United States. In fact, Bob, if I look tired, it's because I just flew in at midnight last night from the East Coast, seeing a lot of our members out on the East Coast through Maryland, Pennsylvania. But we are about 780 garden centers across the United States, the finest independent garden centers everywhere, and we work with the very best vendors to bring programs, products, and services to garden centers across the country like Sweet Peas right here in Vacaville. This is my hometown. This is my hometown garden center right here. I couldn't be more proud to be here this morning. But we work with garden centers across the United States to bring the best plants and services to the independent retailer. How sad is it that so much of independent retail has gone away in the United States and is monopolized by chain stores and box stores across the United States? Great to see independents like Patricia not only succeeding but thriving in today's business environment here.
Well, we've been to Yamagawi's and all sorts of other nurseries throughout the whole area. And, in my program, if you listen to it, we always emphasize, we get a lot of calls. I bought this plant someplace in this big box store, and it's dying. Well, why don't you go to the big box store and find out why?
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. That's what my mind says. But, of course, I'm too polite to say that on the radio live here downtown Vacaville. Anyway. Anyway, we're having a lot of grand old time. So when that happens, it's such a wonderful thing to me for the Master Gardener program to really emphasize this particular thing. When you see Master Gardeners, what it means is that's quality. You get information. You get responsibility for their products. And you'll get answers. And that's really the whole big thing about going to a nursery.
When one of the most important things I think you just touched upon is that quality. I'm partners with Master Nursery. Again, over maybe 600-700 of his members carry the Dr. Earth product on a national level. This is the only cooperative I've developed an alliance with because it's all quality oriented. As a matter of fact, we just did a show together a few weeks ago at Van Winden's. They're members as well. We've been at Whiting's Nursery. We've been at Wegman's Nursery together.
Yeah.
These are all super high-quality nurseries. And you can only become a member if you're a high-quality nursery. You have to have an educated staff. Bill makes sure that everybody has to actually pass a test so that this way they know what they're talking about. So you don't end up in some aisle with a question that no one can answer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very strict standards to be a Master Nursery owner. Not everybody can just sign up for it. I mean, it's really it's almost like having to go back to school to take a test. And they make sure of that because it's quality-driven, it's service-driven, and the whole idea is that everybody succeeds. Besides having great people like yourself with a wealth of knowledge, someone's got to be able to go to a nursery center, throughout the week because, Bob Tanem can only be on the show or have 3 hours a week. I mean, somebody else has got to.
Well, I have email, but it's another thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got 500,000 listeners. I mean, there's only so many emails you can answer.
That's correct. Yeah, we do. And okay, Bill.
Hey, Milo, if I just build on that, the quality aspect, it's also about pricing, because who of us wants to go out and have the very best quality but overpay for it? The thing that co-op also brings to individual retailers like Sweet Peas here in Vacaville, California, is it brings pricing to them operating as a group to keep them competitive price-wise with the box stores. So it's a quality and pricing, and in addition to the quality of the members and needing to gain entrance into the cooperative, as you alluded to, we do have a full certification program where individuals working in the garden center take tests and become a certified master nursery professional. And I'm sure somewhere in the store here we'll find plaques hanging on the wall where people have passed that test and become certified master nursery professionals, which is a whole level of education above and beyond what you would ever find in the box stores or hardware stores. The other part of that equation is we work with the vendors to make sure they're also the highest educated, best suppliers to the industry that focus predominantly on the independent retailer. So you get companies like Monrovia Growers that provides just the very best quality, top quality, unique varieties, and very proud on the soils and organics line, our partnership with Kellogg's and with Milo at Dr. Earth. We just the best of the best on the vendor side of the equation.
Yeah, that's good. Is this an infomercial?
It only depends on how you look. Perception is everything.
I guess it's not an infomercial because I have nothing to sell here this morning.
Yeah, you have to sell MasterGardener. That's even wonderful. No, I'm very familiar with the products, and I actually salute them because they do support the independent. And independent nurseries are the lifeblood of the gardens.
You know, Bob, you being an owner of a nursery, you know what it's like to build a brand. You build a brand, they go to the box stores. What happens is, the problem is with all these young people that work at these box stores, by the time they know what they're doing and they become really knowledgeable, they get a real job when they end up at an independent nursery. Yeah, so no one can answer your questions.
That's right.
And that's one of the issues. So
they don't have a program.
They really don't.
One of the problems, of course, well, I'm not going there, but there are problems with some of our organizations that seem to lean towards the big box stores, and that bothers me.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's got a place, and everyone needs to make a living. Yeah. It's just a different approach to doing things. Yeah. Bill here, Patricia at Sweet Peas, and every other independent nursery just does things differently, and it's really focused on quality and service and knowledge. And that's one of the most important things. I mean, you need to be successful. And as Bill said, he's only partners with a handful of different vendors. Dr. Earth is one of them, Monrovia. Kellogg's is another great person to mention. And there's a lot of, it's a national program. So he's partners with, I think, what's the deer repellent company that you're partners with?
Liquid Fence. It's just the very best in deer
Liquid
repellents.
Fence, yeah.
It works.
Bob, he's got
all kinds of repellents from deer, rabbit, mole, snake repellents, a full line. The only line I know that's been thoroughly tested and works up and lives up to its promises.
Well, that's important. Let's face it. Anyway, Bill, thank you for explaining a lot of this thing along with Milo. Thank you, Bill. Both of you, for being on Bob Tanem in the Garden. Hey, welcome back to Hot Talk 560 KSFO. Why don't we go to Steve in San Jose? Hi there, Steve.
Hey, just a question on one of my hybrid tea roses here has some of the leaves near the top have a white patch or what looks like a fine white powder. Is that a mold or an insect?
It's mildew, white powdery mildew, and it can be controlled with liquid with a. Let me get my head back on. With horticultural oil is one of the easiest way to use it.
Okay, so
all right. That should do it. There's a lot of, one of the things that I make a comment about, there's a lot of soaps on the market, and, they all work and they're wonderful, but one of the problems is that they can, on a hot day, burn the foliage. And the secret with most soap materials is they're contact sprays, and because of that, they their damage is done on contact, so you don't have to leave it on the shrub. So just wash it away.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
All right, Steve. Thanks for that. We also have Steve here in the studio. Of course, our studio's right here at Sweet Pea Nursery, right in downtown Vacaville. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Bob. I've got an avocado tree, and my wife loves avocados, and I'm not having much success with it. And I just thought maybe you'd have some advice on
Whereabouts do you live?
Vallejo, California.
Vallejo. You have a lot of cool... One of the tricks with avocados, okay, and this is stupid on the part of the avocado, it has nothing to do with you. The male blossom comes out in the morning. The female blossom comes out in the afternoon. Well, there's some problem with that. In fact, I had one client or one person that said what he does is take his leaf blower and blows the tree around every day around noon. And some place, the male and the female and all that kind of stuff have got to get together, and that's really what the secret was for him. I would recommend, of course, that you feed them with citrus food. Dr. Earth's citrus food is really one of the better ones. And how old's the tree?
It's about 10 years old.
Yeah, it should be bearing.
Yeah, it should. The neighbor's tree is doing just fine.
Yeah, but there's the problem is that the male and the female don't quite get together. So maybe around lunchtime, grab a sandwich, go out there, shake the tree, and see what happens.
If that helps, my wife will appreciate it.
Well,
thank you very much.
Just send her. She can send me a thank you note. She can actually send me a bale of cotton.
You already gave her
of avocados. I love avocados.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, thank you for that call. We have Terry in the audience that would like to ask a question. So, by the way, the lines are open at 808-5600. We were off the air for a little bit there, but I think that was just a glitch someplace. It's all healed. Larry tells me it's wonderful now. Terry, what can I do for you?
Hi. First of all, I want to say thank you so much. Great radio station, great show, and great nursery. We have an Empress Polonia. I think is that
Empress
Polonia?
Polonia, yes.
Okay. And we had to take it out because it was just dying.
Okay.
And so we did, and we had the stump ground. Now I have about 17 shoots coming up, and I'm thinking of trying to preserve at least one. Would that be ill-advised if I don't know what it is that actually killed the tree?
If they're sprouting, I'm assuming that they'd be fine.
Okay.
So we don't know what killed the tree, huh?
I suspicion maybe boar beetles or an assortment of that.
A bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, very scientific.
Maybe cats clawing on the side of the bark?
That doesn't help. But, there's all sorts of things that can kill a tree. I would let these sprouts grow down, one or two of them at least. Put a stick in them so they can grow up and take a chance. I'm not sure what killed the tree, but, who am I?
Okay. Well, probably part frost, just probably a combination of
that
things
can happen.
that kind of
Sure.
took it out.
Well, it's been a cold winter, too.
Yeah. So.
Despite what we hear from... Never mind.
I know it's...
I know where you're going.
Yeah.
All right, Terry.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. By the way, if you're wondering where we are at downtown Vacaville. We have another, half hour or so that Bev and I will be here. We have our books for sale for everybody, and I thank you for your purchases. We do like that. And I think, check to see if we have any more bags of material to give away.
We do. We have more bags.
Okay.
We have more fertilizer.
The first 100 attendees to this program today, Sunday, June 21st. June 21st, and you can get a free bag of an 8-quart potting soil and a Dr. Earth probiotic organic fertilizer, and it's a sample. And you can do that this morning. And we, of course, have Milo Shammas here. We've had Patricia Williams, who is the owner of the place. And Dr. Earth, and this nursery's been here for how many years?
55 years. And as a matter of fact, one of the co-founders is Curtis Williams, and he's sitting directly across from us. He used to own 3 nurseries locally called the Alamo Nursery.
Okay.
And then he sold them off, and Patricia ended up buying one of them, this one right here in Vacaville. And then she opened it 10 years ago and called it Sweet Peas Nursery.
Okay.
Curtis has, just been in the business for a long time. As a matter of fact, he's got a quote. It's called, and it's a great one. It's actually in my magazine.
Okay.
Plant your tomatoes where the cats lay. That's the warmest spot in the garden.
That's a good idea.
It really is, because that's where the tomatoes succeed.
Of course, I'm always chasing the cats out of my yard.
Well,
so
but learn where they lay. And that's the best spot to plant tomatoes. He's from Oklahoma and he grew up on a farm, and that's just, they learn little tricks like that.
Yeah,
and,
you have to realize I don't try to encourage talking about cats on my program. I don't want to get all that nasty email that I usually get. In fact, one time, I was raised on a farm, and my job was to control the cat population, because we had to have cats in order to get the rats and the mouse out of the places. And so this lady phones me up and said, "What a terrible child you must have been in your life." I wrote her back, and I told her the truth of the things that I had to do in order to get rid of the little baby cats. I probably think she probably had a heart attack with all of that, because if she's a cat lover, and I just had to get rid of them. That's all. I'm not going to tell you how. But anyway, that's another story. We have Rick in Danville. Why don't we go to him? Hi there, Rick.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of tomato plants that are probably about 2 feet tall, and some of the branches on individual bushes are like wilted, like it doesn't have any water, but the branch next to it is fine. Should I cut those?
Now, are these at the base of the plant?
No, they're in random spots, mostly up towards the crown and on the sides. And they don't seem to get perked back up, but they're not brown either.
So they just wilt?
Yeah, they're just wilted, but the one...
And it's a random thing throughout the entire bush.
Right, and it might be on 2 of the bushes, and then the next 2 are fine. So I didn't know if it was a bug or what's going on.
Well, as long as it's random, I would just pluck them off, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
How often are you feeding your tomatoes?
Well, we haven't fed them yet. They just came from starts, and I planted them about 4 weeks ago. Okay.
So, okay.
Feed them?
Yeah, I should feed them. I would go to Dr. Earth vegetable mix.
Okay.
And feed them. Tomatoes, everything, really requires additional food after you plant it. Now, you can put the chicken manure and all that kind of good stuff in the soil to get it through the winter, but in the initial steps in the spring when you plant things, you got to realize that every 4 to 6 weeks you give them some food to really maximize their ability, and I highly recommend an organic material.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll give it a try. Thank you.
All right, Rick. Thank you for that call. Hey, welcome back to Hot Dog 560 KSFO. And in case you didn't know, we are at Sweet Pea Nursery right here in downtown Vacaville. Alamo, yeah, right. It's on Alamo Drive in Vacaville. And by the way, if you would like Dr. Earth's gardening guide, free, and it'll be shipped to you, all you have to do is to go to a website, www.drearth.com, and that'll get that to you. Or you can phone at 707-448-4676 and get your free Dr. Earth gardening guide for the organic lifestyle. I think it's a great thing. And let's get to some calls here. And this is Anthony from San Francisco. Hi there, Anthony.
Let's see now. I have it's called a blueberry, it's a patio blueberry plant.
Yeah, okay.
And it's growing nice, but it's coming out like it's coming straight out, but am I supposed to do something with those long stems?
In other words, it's growing upright.
Yeah. Well, on each side, it's growing out, straight out, the leaves, sort of like a, and I'm wondering, am I supposed to curve those in or cut them so they can...
Well, why don't you wait until fall, let's say in December, January, around in there, and prune them to shape at that time. That way you won't be cutting off any of your fruit.
Right. There's no fruit yet, and there's no bud.
How old are they?
So that's right. So I'm just wondering, let's see, it gets morning sun and afternoon shade.
That should work.
Yeah. So.
And also, they need a pH of around 6 to 6.5, an acid food.
Well,
so I would get some rhododendron food. Dr. Earth would be preferable. And put that around them, and I would do that every 6 weeks.
Okay. Thank you.
All right?
Bye.
All right.